Hello. Okay, so I'm gonna show you my makeup looks. As a lot of you know, I've left most of my important makeup stuff in Madrid, which is a different story. But anyway, I do have some of the essentials like my contour kit and things like that, my concealers and stuff. I just don't have my foundation or like my carrier oils or anything like that, but that doesn't matter. So anyway, here we go. First thing, stop what you're doing, wash your face, and moisturize it. I can't stress it enough. It will change how you apply your makeup. I use Cetaphil or Cetaphil, however the fuck you say it, for everything. I mean, if anyone remembers, last year I was dealing with crazy cystic acne from my birth control. So that's all gone away because of just using simple cleansers and some medication. Birth control, I have no babies, but I had cystic acne, so let's weigh that. Okay, anyway, so after I moisturize, I also make sure my hands are clean. I am not one of those people who likes to use fingers on my face. It makes me nauseous to watch people do it. However, because I don't have a lot of stuff today, I'm probably going to be doing that a little bit, so I make sure my hands are really clean. I know it's COVID time. This is separate from that, but if your hands are dirty and you're touching your face, you will break out more. You will put oils onto your face, dirt, anything like that. And sometimes the makeup settles into those dirty spots or those dry spots. So just invest in having some brushes. They don't have to be $1 million, but you should have makeup brushes so you don't have to worry about touching your face. Okay, so after I moisturize, the first thing that I do is I prime my eyelids. This, you don't have to have an eyelid primer for this. I use Urban Decay's eyelid primer. I've been using this since I was maybe 17, something crazy like that. And I go on like this. This is actually one thing that I do use my fingers for because I find that brushes take away too much product.
Eyelid primer, like I said, is not necessary, but I, in my experience, really can't live without it. I find that the makeup just sticks to it, and I find that it really keeps it from being oily. I don't have too oily of lids, but if you do, this will affect it, right? You don't want to
spend the money on a primer when you put on concealer, or you can just use concealer or foundation, and with one of these bad boys, you could just blot it up onto your eyelid and it works pretty much the same way.
especially if you like your foundation. Okay. So I don't know if the lighting or anything is going to be so good anymore, but okay. So I leave that there, and a lot of people have preference of what order they do their makeup in.
I used to do my skin first and then my eyes, and I saw so many bloggers and people doing eyes and then face, and I was like, no, God, I'll never do that. And I tried it and I fell in love with it. It really is good because so much fallout comes from your eyeshadow, and it's such a pain in the ass to get it off of foundation, especially when you've just spent so much time on it. So that's that. Okay, so next step, I always go for my eyebrows. I like the shape of my eyebrows, but I am a European Caucasian, as I like to call it, or just like a super white person. So I don't have a lot of hair in my eyebrows. So I brush them up. Have not gotten them waxed because we are in a global pandemic, but so I brush them up. I'm not a huge eyebrow person. I don't but what I do is I like a natural brow because I really think it's important to frame your face. If you have really thick or dark eyebrows that you love already, you don't have to worry about putting product in here. You can just brush them out and then put like a clear gel in it just to make them stand out. Because for me, I just want my eyebrows to look natural and I want them to look darker because I find that when I darken them up, it really gives me a little bit more of an angular moment. Okay, if I All right, so this is the beginning or the first step of my eyebrows. Eventually I will put a little bit more product in it because once I put everything on, you'll see that they don't look as dark as I want them to. But I just like having a little bit of a frame before I start the rest of my face. And that's period. Okay, so before I go into the actual eyeshadow, I'm going to be using facial oils on my face today because I'm doing cream contour. That is optional. super optional. I know a lot of people don't believe in facial oil, so it's fine. But while I do my face makeup, I mean my eye makeup, I let my face primer sit and soak in. This helps, even though I used to be super oily, the past year with my medications and stuff, my skin has gotten pretty dry. So without a good primer, a lot of the product will sink into those dry patches on your face, and you don't want that. Also, I use Stila's One Step Corrector. It's supposed to be like a color correcting. I don't have a lot of color correcting issues on my face, but sometimes I do be getting a little red because, like I said, I am white and Caucasian. So I have two eyeshadow palettes. This one I bought when I was in Madrid, actually. It's Soft Glam, the Anastasia ABH Soft Glam palette. Looks like this. Absolutely Gorgina. Look at this. Look at this. However, was expansive, so I bought another brand that I love. I love Lorac. I love Lorac so much. It's the only contour kit I'll use, so I gave their eyeshadow a try. It looks like this. These are amazing colors for people who have green and hazel eyes. I mean, obviously this will look good on any eye color. Blue eyes as well, brown eyes too. I'm not leaving anybody out. But I have to say that these mauve shades really bring out people who have golds or greens or those browny kind of colors in there. And it just kind of makes it look really put together. I think this is a really pretty palette for spring or summer. So we're gonna use that. For half off. This is my iced coffee. Okay, so from here, the first thing that I like to do, I don't have my favorite eyeshadow brushes, but we'll cry about that a different time. You don't need to have expensive eyeshadow brushes. I don't care what anybody says. You just have to have eyeshadow brushes that are soft enough for you and that can be used for different parts of the lid. So you don't need to have $80 brushes. You just want to have a variety of brushes that do different things. So this is like a flat one. It's from IT Cosmetics. This thing is soft as hell. It says KES 10. Oh my god, my initials are KES, and it's on the bottom of this. Ah, wow. Okay, so the KES 10W, the Kimberly Elizabeth Steel 10W brush, which I'll call it now. It's just nice, flat, and soft. I use one of these to just pat in a bottom layer. So everyone does this differently. You're gonna listen to how I do it. So I like to take the lightest shade in a palette and dab it all over my eye. And that's fine. I like to take a little bit of a smaller brush. It's a little angled, but not really. I just like to take my my transition shade, or the shade that I really want to focus on, that I want to bring to the rest of the look. So I'm using Unconditional here. Can you see it? Right there. And sorry, you're on top of my mini mirror because I'm not a guru and I don't have one of those things. So Unconditional, I'm gonna put it here and bring it up into the crease here, so it kind of makes like a this shape.
Was a teenager in the 2000s. Okay. So here we go.
Okay. So you see how it kind of frames that? I love that look. If you want to be really natural, you could just blend this out and put like a lighter brownish or something here. And when you put on the rest of your makeup, it's gonna look really like, you know, but we're gonna do a full look today. Okay. And the good thing about doing this before your foundation is you can fix this so with concealer, with foundation, with, you know, you can even take it off if you want to. That's the beauty of not having the foundation on. So we like that. Okay, so now I'm switching to a bigger, fluffier brush that's a little bit more angled, and I'm gonna take this darker color. It's called Unbridled. Fuck. Okay, and I'm gonna put it in a similar spot here, but a little closer into the corner of my lid. And I just want to kind of brush it underneath even what we just put down. And I like to kind of really drag it like this because I find that if I define that line with the eyeshadow, it makes it easier to follow it with my eyeliner. We'll see that in a moment. And don't be afraid to bring it up a little higher because you can wash out the dark color with a lighter one. I always try to bring it up higher. I have small almondy shaped eyes, and dark colors do tend to make, in any way, shape, or form with makeup, if you put on dark colors, it will make whatever you're putting it on look smaller. So that's something that I'll talk about a lot, but you just want to, you know, enhance the beautiful qualities that you already have. Right here, I'm going back in with a light shade right on top of the lid. I like to bring that pretty much all over once again. Lighter base. I don't have setting spray. Can't even talk about it. Very depressing. But usually if I really want the colors to pop, I will put on, so here I'm putting it, I just rub this brush into 2 of my shimmery colors because I like when my shimmers are a little more dimensional, multi-dimensional. So usually I would take, oh my god, this is what the influencers do. So you do this and all of the products, and it's kind of a lot, so I'll just do one of these. And then imagine this is a setting spray. I would spray it on here and then press it into my lid and it will make it super shimmery, but we don't have that luxury today. We're almost there. So now we've got our shimmer. I'm going to go back in with that unconditional color here. It's not the light one, it's the one that we first put in the crease. And I'm just going to go over those spots that are supposed to be dark. Okay. And I always recommend taking a darker color that you use up top here and bringing it along your waterline. You know that look? I don't do my makeup any other way. I find that it really brings a look in, but I don't do that until after my foundation's on because I put my concealer all up in my business up here. Okay.
With your hands, your fingers is when I will allow it, but also I'm not. You can do what you want. This is my video, so this is what I'm telling you to do. Okay, so go like this. Now, before I put
my eyeliner, something that I personally love is putting a nice bright highlight in the corners of my eye. So I dab it right here. This is a white highlighter from my contour palette. And it will fade as we do the look, but that's okay because it at least provides me a base. So
I put it right here, see? In that corner. And then I just brush it into the waterline. I'll even brush it onto the lid. Who cares? And it's okay if it doesn't look perfect. I know I watch a lot of videos where it looks so cut and streamlined and perfect, and I get so frustrated. Sometimes I just don't do it like that, and that's the thing. Not everyone does it the same way, but you can still get similar results. So, have no fear. There you go. Oh, sorry, I keep sniffling. Okay.
So now I have that. I'll also take, this is what it looks like for reference. This is my Lorac contour palette. There is no better contour palette, in my opinion. So here, so I take this, it's pretty light, look at me. I'm like the Spider-Man meme where they like point at each other. So you want to take this light color and I bring it all over. Stressful moment of all is the eyeliner. I have a love-hate relationship with Kat Von D tattoo liner. It stays forever. It's really black and it's really nice, but I'm not a huge fan of felt tip liners. I just find that sometimes they make the line too much of a block. That's just me. Anyway, so depending on your eye shape, this is eyeliner. I think is one of the hardest tricks to seal, but for me, I want to enhance the shape of my eye. If you put really thick lines up here, it's going to shrink your eye. So I try to keep it pretty small along here and flick it up just to highlight that almond shape. The closer you bring it into your eye, the smaller your eye is going to look. It's going to give you that snake eye, cat eye kind of moment. So if that's what you're looking for, go for it. Even if you have small eyes, sometimes I do that because I love the look. It doesn't make your eyes disappear. It's just a look. So here we go. I wish there was a cute way to do this, but I take it here and I usually just give myself about one little, oh, see, bitch. I also need to get a new one, so. One eye will always be better than the other eye. I don't know who is in charge of the world or creation, whatever you believe in, but I believe in whoever created the world made it impossible for people to have equal eyeliner. And okay. Now it's time for the face. We will come back to the eyes. We're not done with the eyes. So the first thing I want to do is tell you about how I do my foundation. The best foundation I have literally ever used is the Born This Way foundation from Too Faced. It took me so long to try it because I was so used to using other stuff, and then with all my acne, I was staying away from foundations in general. It is seamless. Like, go get yourself match yourself, try it. It feels beautiful. It's not thick. It's just gorgeous. But unfortunately for me, I only have this broad spectrum SPF 40 Clinique makeup. Clinique is not cruelty free, so I'm only using this until it runs out, and then unfortunately I'm not going to buy it anymore. I just don't get why it would be necessary to test on animals so I can have face makeup. It just seems stupid. Anyway, so before we put on the foundation, what I like to do is just cover up any problem spots with concealer. I use the Shape Tape Tarte concealer. So I just cover up my little zits. Lucky for me, I'm actually not breaking out that bad. Okay, so I take a clean, clean makeup brush. If I said that and you can't remember the last time you cleaned your makeup brushes, I'm gonna save my judgment for later, but do yourself a favor and go and clean them. Now my concealer's on. Some people put concealer on top of their foundation. I do both. I just feel like putting it on first, a very light layer to cover up the acne or spots, whatever you want to cover up is worth it. I don't always put it under here first though, but you know what I'm going to do today? I have a second concealer. I don't even know how this company stays in business because I don't know how they sell more than one unit. I feel like I'm going to be buried and cremated with this. Again, I am using my fingers because my hands are clean, but this is a little tackier and I find that it does spread a little better when I use my fingers or a beauty blender. But I forgot to wet my beauty blender and I don't feel like doing that yet. Okay. So I like to bring this more of a yellowy kind underneath. And this is preference because not everyone likes that bright under eye, but however, we're going to be contouring and putting our foundation on. Contour essentially is just restructuring the points of your face. So light brings light and dark gives you that chiseled look because it's about how the light hits your face. So that's why I like to really put it down here. I love a bright under eye. I don't bring it all the way up here. You'll see that sometimes. That to me is scary and very unnatural, but if you like that, go for it. But not today, Satan. So we just do that, just like that. So here's a beauty blender. This is Real Techniques. I bring a little dish of water every time I do my makeup like this. It's what they use in the Tasty videos and like throw like their salt and pepper on top of this like chicken wing or whatever. Okay, so I just dip it in there. There is an easier way to do this, i.e. going to the sink and wetting it. So when people talk about beauty blenders, I feel like they don't really understand them. Basically, it is a sponge and people are confused by the wetness of it. I didn't get it either, but it makes a huge difference. The wetness just keeps the product from soaking into the sponge and it transfers it more evenly and pushes it into your face. So I wet it, but it's not soaking wet. Do not put a soaking wet blender on your face. It will literally take the makeup off. So you just want it to be squishy like this, see? So now that we have the concealer there, I take this pointy part and I just dab, 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 dab. So now we're gonna move into foundation. A lot of people do contour, cream contour, not powder contour. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you use powder foundation, that's fine. I almost never use just powder foundation. I always use a liquid and then I go on top of the powder. So today it's going to be that, but if you are a powder foundation person, put on your concealer, then press your foundation with a flat kabuki into your face like this, like do, 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 do. And then from there is when we'll put the contour on with a dry contour, not a wet. Okay, so like I said before, I am going to be using facial oil. Usually I prefer to use argan oil. I think it's lighter, but I left all of my things in Madrid, so this is all I had. This is castor oil. I use this on my eyelashes and my eyebrows and my hairline to help with hair growth, but it is non-comedogenic. That means it's not gonna give you breakouts. And trust me, I'm the CEO of getting breakouts from products. So facial oils are not actually pore clogging, but make sure you read the bottle to double check. So they say warm it up in your hands, whatever. Now take your foundation. You can put this on your hand. That's what I like to do just because it's easier. Or you can use it on your, on like a flat surface. But make sure it doesn't have any germs on it, you nasties. Okay, so from here, one method that I like to do is I prefer to use a beauty blender to blend things in, but I like to first put the makeup on my skin with a brush. So I take this brush. This is from IT Cosmetics. It's a KEP 0 or O0W, whatever. But it looks like this, a foundation brush. And I just kind of stipple it into my skin. Notice that some parts of you bring it under and onto your neck. Do not forget to put this on your neck, please. This is a little darker than my skin tone, which is fine. I'm not leaving the house. But you do want I think personally, it's better to look a little darker with your foundation than it is to look lighter. Because if your foundation's a little too dark, you can offset it with powder. And make your face look like a real person. When you look like you haunt an old Victorian home, your foundation is way too light. Okay, so I'm really brushing it in here. It's pretty dewy with the oil, but it's not sticky and I don't feel oily. That's the difference. So find an oil you like. I use Josie Maran's argan oil. It is pretty expensive, so I've only ever gotten it as gifts. But if you want to treat yourself and try a facial oil, you could do that, or maracuja oil from Tarte, which we stan. Okay, so now I have my damp beauty blender. I have a little more foundation, and I like to do, where is it? This fat part here. And I just kind of go back in with the blender with a tiny bit of product. Here we are. It's cold in my room. Okay. Okay. So now we have that, and we're going to move on to my, oh, I'm knocking everything over. My favorite part of this, which is the sculpting of the face. Okay. So from here, contour. Buckle up. So contour is different for everybody. And the way you do it depends on your face shape. So the way that I do it is not going to be the same that I would for someone who has a really angular face, someone who has a completely circular face. It's very different. But the one thing we have in common is that you're just finding the highest parts of your face and you are highlighting the bones that already exist and the shapes that already exist. So it's not like you're creating some fake face. You're using what you already have to showcase, you know, how snatched we can be. Every time I do a full contour face, someone tells me that I look like I've lost weight, and I'm like, yes, I literally put makeup on my face to make my face look angular. So thank you, but saying thank you for looking skinny is so 2001, and I'm sick of it. Okay, so I put a little bit of castor oil on the top of my foundation stick. I do not buy Kardashian West products, so I stick to ABH products. I have swatched the Kardashian stuff in the store. Not worth it. So ABH, this is in the color, I want to say mink. Yep. So this is a little darker, but you can blend it out. So it's a little oily. I always put oil on my cream foundations. On my cream contours, because I find that it just blends into your skin. So from there, I have a little bit on my finger. I will take this only because it's on my finger and find that part by your ear. So when you do this, see how it comes up to here? This is the highest part of my face. And this is the part above the ear that you want to make that line that's going to make your contour. And you always want your contour to connect as a 3. So we're gonna put contour here on my chin. Here's the first part of the 3 here. And then up here. Do not forget the forehead. If you just have contour here, like, I don't even know what you'll look like, but you won't look the way that you want to look. And period. Okay, so take that. It's a little oily, that's okay. So I take it here, and don't bring this all the way out here. If you bring a really strong line here, it's going to make you look like a clown. And you can do that. If you're looking for a super, super strong contour, you can bring it in dark and really straight. That's how it works, if you've seen that. But I like to go for something that looks good, but a little bit natural. So now that I have that, I'll take this. Same thing. So you're going to bring it from the ear. And don't go below that line. And what I mean is, don't do it here, because you're going to look muddy. You want it to be just above that strong part of your face. Oh, look at that. Stupid. Okay. So I just like this. See? And I bring it up to follow that line. And to follow that line. You can already see what's going to happen when I blend it in. So, like I said, I love contouring my jaw. Like, I think it makes all the difference. And I find that if I'm going to wear a ponytail, especially, I always contour my jaw. So you do it like this. You can do less. I've seen people do far less. I'm sure people are probably shaking in their boots. This seems like a lot of product, but it's extremely light. So you want to bring it down and connect it, because that's how your face naturally connects. Like, you don't just have a bone and a bone and a bone. Like, everything connects together, so make it look natural. And do not forget your neck. Okay, Kyle called me and my video stopped. I hope I can mix these together. Okay, so anyway, so now we have that here, and we're gonna bring the contour up onto our forehead. I do less here. I don't have a big forehead. And if you want to shrink your forehead, put a lot of contour here and bring it down further. So I'll give you a glimpse of that, but I really don't like to do too much. I don't like when it's really muddy looking up in the hairline. But this also can, I have this like little baldy spot here. I wonder where she came from, isn't she sweet? And I'll put my contour there because it looks like your hair's fuller. We're gonna do the nose contour in a second, but I just wanna show you the face. So I take my foundation brush that I used before, and it has a little bit of oil left in it. Now you're just going to buff. First with a brush, and then later with it. Okay, and notice how I'm not pushing, sliding, I'm pushing the product into my face. Ooh. A lot of people like to do this underneath their foundation. I find it to be less effective personally, but if you really, really want a more natural look, you can do it like that. Okay. Now, the moment you've all probably haven't been waiting for, but in my head you have been. So contouring your nose, if you've ever gone out or done anything or watched something and seen someone who has their face, and you're like, wow, who has their face? With their face, and you're like, wow, they look so different. Chances are it's because they did a really good job on their nose contour. You can literally change the shape and structure of your nose. I know it's an insecurity for a lot of people, but I think that we should just embrace what we've got. I like to enhance the nose that I already have, because as you can see, everything else is darker here, but then my nose is just kind of bright there. So keeping it all together kind of brings it in. So I put more oil on here, and I'm taking this little brush, sideways brush. Ew, she's dirty. And you always want to start your nose contour from the bridge of your nose, like where your eyebrows are, and you're gonna bring her down onto the nose like this. If you want to change the shape of your nose, the closer you put the lines in, so brown here and brown here, the more narrow it's gonna be. That's like when people are like, kind of look. Anyway, so I just do a couple dabs like this. It's like painting. Oh my god, I don't know why I blew on it. I'm stupid. Okay, so here we go. And don't overdo it, but it's okay. I find that nose contour is definitely one of the hardest parts of the contour look. I'm still working on it. I still don't do it perfectly, but it's fun, and it is effective. Okay, so I'm gonna keep for a narrow nose, but not too narrow. Like I said, some people bring it like where there's only a teeny bit of space between these two. So I bring it down. If you want to shorten your nose, like make it look like a button, you want to take it and you want to put product on the edge, because when you use darkness on your nose, it gives the illusion that that's where it stops. So we do it just like that, you see? Okay. So a lot of people put highlight on as well, and the bridge during this. I find that I like to blend in my contour first and then go in with my highlight. So you can use the same brush and just kind of push maybe like junior or senior year of college. So I'm it's only been a few years, but here we go. So you can kind of notice that to the side. Okay. Great. I have to stop saying it like that. It's so creepy. Okay, so now the cream contour is done. Next step. If you have liquid on, I 99.99999% of the time suggest that you use a setting powder on top. Again, I have another Clinique product who, once she's done, she's gone forever. And it's kind of like the same color as my skin. I have a lighter one for when I'm like white, which is also 99.9999% of the year. I take a big brush like this, a stippling brush. So a stippling brush has long brushes here, and I get it all in there and I shake it out. And I just go over my whole entire face. Once you put powder on your face, do not put any more liquid on top. If you put a liquid on top of a dry face, you're gonna have to redo your whole thing, because it's just gonna separate. It's gonna look wild. It's like, just trust me, because I've made the mistakes for you, and now I'm here to tell you. We're gonna go back to our eyes. I like to kind of let things sit for a few minutes. I don't know if that's how it really works, if it actually does it, or if I just have mental illness. But I go back into my palette, and this is when I bring it under the waterline. I think this just seals the deal. So I take it here and just bring it like you're doing eyeliner. We're in 7th grade. We're going to an Evanescence concert, and we're putting on eyeliner. Okay, do you notice the difference? Okay, versus that. So this, I feel like, really is a mature look, first of all. I think it's also like kind of like a fashion weeky kind of look, but it doesn't have to be super dramatic. I do my eyes like this even when I go to work. Obviously less color and less drama. And it just kind of wakes up your eye because it brings the color in. So just nice and light. You take one of these tiny brushes. I think this is like an old ass Morphe brush. I don't even think it has a number on it. And take it. You can use black under here if you want. It really depends what you're looking for. I notice that. And then I only use the colors that I have on my top lid on the bottom. I rarely use a different color. If you use totally different colors on the top and bottom, it looks cool, but that's a whole other look. So if you're trying to do something that kind of blends it all together, stick with the same colors. Darker is better. And bring it here and here. And that's that. See, like, I already feel like I just am, like, snatched when I do that. Like, why is it? I don't know. But I feel like it connects it. It really, really gives you such a beautiful look on your eyes. Like I said, if you want to use a little shimmer, if you want to bring out the color of your eyes, I take a little gold shimmer. And right here, underneath where, like, the baseball is sitting, I just bring it in like that. So every time the light catches right here, the gold and the green will mix together. You can do this with any color that you want. Great. Okay. Back to the contour. So now we're going to take a regular contour palette. This is the Lorac palette in light. Oh, I don't know why I'm like showing the corner of my room. Here, I use these two colors. I have almost never used this for obvious reasons. But here, so the first thing that I do is I take something small like this. Again, I don't have all my brushes, so pardon me. And I take the darkest, not the darkest, the darker of the two that I use, which is this one. And I dab it here, I blow it, and the same place where we put our other contour is you're gonna do a line, and you can see that line even when you twist. Remember, we are carving out the bones on our face. Like, we want to highlight the strong parts, which are your cheekbones, which is your chin, which is under here, your eyebrow bone, and right in the center of your forehead. These are the things that you really want to draw attention to, and that's what's going to give you the sculpted look. So don't think of don't think too hard about it. Just follow what your face already gives you. You're not creating something out of nothing. You're using your face. So I go like this, right here, and I bring that color next to the ear, down like this, and I kind of just do a nice moment here. It looks sloppy, that's fine. And other side. You can do one side, one full side at a time. I find it's a lot easier to keep going back and forth so I can edit as I go. Okay. So you always want the darker of your colors to be here, and you want it to get lighter here. So that's just it, ladies. Okay. So you're going to bring it up. Again, you're going to follow the same place as before. Now that we have that there, we're going to take a brush like this or a brush like this. That's, you can go like that. And you're going to dab some product, the lighter of your contours, not too much. You don't want this to collect. So you go back over and you just kind of brush. See, this is the high part, and it's already collecting the sun, which is good. So you bring that contour in a line, like this, up, down, bring it under the chin. Do not forget to bring it under the chin, or your whole face will look puffed up. Okay. All right, do you see how it's literally like it's like I'm like swallowing apples in my cheeks, and it's not because of anything. Like, this is actually my face, but now you're seeing the difference between cheekbone and chubby under cheek. Okay.
I wish I had all my stuff, so maybe once I get it all back, I can do something a little bit better than this. But thanks for tuning in anyway. Okay. So that's your contour here. There you go. Boom!
Almost. Like I said, don't drag it down here. The minute you drag it down here, everything, it's game over. So you can do bronzer as well before this. I like to do a little bit of bronzer afterwards. It doesn't really matter. Someone might say it matters, but they're not here. So back to the nose. You're going to take this part of the brush, something flat, and on the side of the brush, literally like this, I put it there and I hollow that nose contour. See? That's why I like doing the cream. If you don't have cream contour and you only have this or bronzer, that's fine. You use the exact same technique just with the product that you have. So brush it there, brush it there. I just feel it's so different. Remember who I was in the beginning of this video? Okay. And then I go back in with a little bit of dark again, just over here. If you bring it in here and down, if you have a rounder face, it will kind of cut it. I just don't like to put contour too close to my mouth. I find it a little treacherous. Okay, great. So now I use, I don't know, one of these like brushes like this. It can be anything really. And I put on some highlight, this whiter color, not the yellow, more of a white. You can do a little bit of the yellow. And I bring it down my nose to highlight the nose. Great. Because you don't want it to be all brown or else your nose looks like a big blob. Okay. Bronzer. Bronzer. That's how they say it when they are French, I'm assuming. Le coffee. Okay, so I use a little bit of an angled brush. This is the Hoola bronzer from Benefit. We stand this product. And I just get it all over the brush. And where I did my contour, I just kind of bring it up. And this is a much more liberal kind of brushing. So you kind of highlight what's already there. And this warms up the whole face. So I'll even do here, I'll hit the chin, underneath, down here. Really, really bring it into the neck. Don't be the girl who doesn't blend her makeup into her neck. We love her. She's our friend. She's our family. Maybe she's our mom. Maybe he's our brother. Maybe he's our friend, family, dad, whomever. Make sure they are brushing it into their neck, please. If you learn anything today, brush it into your neck. Because we know why. Okay, so here we go. What do we think? Contour is just about done. I love the way that bronzer ties in the look. I never used to use a lot of bronzer. It's at this point too where you can use a blush. I love a matte look and I love a brown look, not as much a blushy look. But I have, again, a Lorac Los Angeles palette. This has some contour shades and then these are highlights down here. So believe it or not, this little pink guy is actually more pigmented than you think. So I'll just dip a blush brush like this and I tap the top of my nose. Some people really strobe their nose. I don't love that look on me, but it is pretty cute. So I'll do a little bit. And then I'll take this and I put it right on that strong part of the cheek. I don't go all the way up here and I don't do a full, just not my style. So right here, see where it's the strongest part? And just dab it. And I find that that just kind of wakes you up and it's like, oh, ooh, whomst is she? And then a little bit on the chin. Now, we can't go anywhere without highlighting. Highlighting is similar to what we did with our concealer, except it's not gonna be right under the eye. It's on the strongest parts of your face again, and what that means is right top up here, is when you turn, the light naturally is going to find right here, right here, right here, right here, and right here. But we're not gonna highlight in that kind of way. My favorite highlight palette is also in Madrid. So I take a little stippling brush like this. I have a highlight brush, like a fan brush that I prefer, but she's not here. So we dab, 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 blow, And then I just press like this. I hope you can see. Yes. Ooh. Ooh, and that's just a little bit. And then other side. You can put a shit ton of this on if you want. I like a nice middle ground because I like highlight, but I like the way that a nice matte contour look is. But I think highlight is very necessary. Okay. So I bring it up to this part here because when you turn, it really gives you that strobe-y kind of look without being too much. Be careful. Highlight will highlight parts of your skin that you might not want to see. So if you have little bumps or acne or anything, make sure you cover it up better if that's what you're looking to do before you put the highlight on top, because it will bring it to the surface a little bit. Now, one of my favorite things is I take an old eye brush, and I take that same highlight, and I'm going to mix it with my whiter highlight here from my contour palette, like that, just a little. And I bring it the whole bridge of the nose. Ooh, see? And I also take it top of my lip right here. This will come in handy. This looks crazy. It will get covered up like that. Oh my God, got milk? Okay. Ooh. Okay, all right. I also have this highlight that I like to include. This is also Laura Geller. It's called Diamond Dust Baked Gelato Swirl. So extra. This is like a woman from New York who just loves her makeup line and she just wants to share it with everybody. Oh my God, it lasts forever. That's how she speaks on QVC. This has a tint of pink in it, so I don't use this in every look, but we've got some pinks going on. So let's bring her back on top of the nose as well. Oh my God, this is so crazy here. Here. And back. And we're gonna bring her up here again, up here again. Look at that. Dare I say, Gorgina. Then, back here, remember I told you we would come back to this. Let's put it in the corner. Let's put it in the corner. And there we go. We are almost done. For the love of God, I'm so sorry. Thank you for sticking with me this long. Wait. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna come back to my eyebrows because as you can see, they don't look as dark as before, right? Right. So, again, this product, oh, this is ABH, by the way. I love this. It comes with this little angled brush. It is so defined. Love it. So I don't know why that is either. We can ask the God creator eyebrow man. But look at that. I think that's great, and it's so easy. And again, this just comes with a lot of trial and error, and ask yourself, like, what kind of look do I want, and what things do I want to touch, and some things you might leave alone. For those of you with really beautiful, thick, hairy eyebrows, I'm sorry if you were bullied at any point in your life, because I know that was such a thing when we were younger, you know, in the 2000s, to have those thin eyebrows, and especially brown and black girls who have those nice thick eyebrows were just totally roasted. And here we are in 2020, white people taking their culture and trying to get nice eyebrows. So think about them every time you do your eyebrows. So nice, more natural. I like to just brush it up. This is the shape of my eyebrow. I do have this hair here, but it darkens it. It makes it look like, you know, I woke up. Well, maybe it doesn't. Who's to say? Anyway, so brush it up. If you brush it up like this, you'll get that, you know, that really natural hairy look, which people are into, the caterpillar brows. Like that. Okay. All right. Now here we go. We're going to do mascara last. Sometimes if I forget mascara, I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. So I always ombre my lips. I love my lips. I take good care of them. I use a homemade lip scrub. It's honey, coconut oil, and brown sugar. I don't know the measurements. I throw it into a little container. And about 3 times a week, don't exfoliate more than that, 3 times a week, I rub it on at night. A lot, for probably about 30 seconds. I let it sit for a second, and then I take a hot towel and I press it off, and your lips will explode. I always treat my lips before I do a makeup look for that reason. I had some, what is it called? Lip balm. All right, Kimmy, can't think in English. On this whole time, if you put too much oil or lip balm on before you put the lipstick on, especially matte lipsticks, it will separate. So be really careful. If it's too glossy, take it off. But what we're doing, ooh, look at this, so gross. I use Dose of Colors religiously. This is hands down the best liquid lipstick ever. I have tried almost every lipstick brand and nothing makes me feel or look the way that these feel. They stay on all night. You can drink, you can eat. They will come off if you hook up with somebody, but we know this. So to ombre lips, you want to outline with a darker color, put a lighter color in the middle. And that gives you the illusion. So if you want your lips to look bigger, I know a lot of people are self-conscious about having thin lips. It doesn't matter if your lips are thin. I'm sure they have a beautiful shape. Follow that beautiful shape and just highlight the center. So what I do is I take this and I bring it up and I'll outline the whole lip. I can't talk when I do it, so just watch me. Okay, so you see that I follow my lips natural edge. I really, my lips are one of my favorite qualities. I think it's important when you do your makeup to really talk to yourself about the things that you like about your face, because we don't put makeup on to hide, we put it on to peacock a little bit, right? So here, so this is natural. You could leave it like this if you wanted and just do like a moment. But I like to take a lighter shade. So this is Desert Suede, OG, amazing color. I think one of the best browner shades from Dose of Colors. And then this is Let's Cuddle. So this is a neutral, but it has a little bit of an orangey kind of thing going on here. But when you put it on lips, on my lips and like against white skin, it's gonna look like this. Obviously, depending on your skin tone, what colors will show up differently. So check their website. They do swatches on women of different skin types, which you'd think that everyone would do, but we live in America. So, and again, we'll only use the finger for this. Push it. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and you see that? Gives you that pouty look. Now, something that I think is very worthwhile, here is it. Another Dose of Colors lip glosses. Holy shites. Their lip glosses are super pigmented, super shiny. I prefer to wear it with my hair up because obviously like your hair will get stuck, but it's not the same sticky gloss like other cheap ones. Like this just feels good. So I take a Jazzy. They have a bunch. They have this one like translucent one. It's to die for. So I just take a little bit here, and to give it that like 90s lip gloss pop, I just go on top of my matte lipstick like this. Right on top. And this gives you that moisturized, bouncy, summer, outdoor drinking kind of look. Ooh. And this is like, you can see this from a mile away. So when you decide to ombre your lips, it's going to draw attention to them. Beautiful. Okay, all right, last step. I think it's crucial to, almost last step, to curl your lashes. You don't have to, but I really do think it's the best. So you can take this, you can heat it up with a hair dryer if you want it to really be curled, but if you just hold it, you'll get the same effect. So you're gonna put your eye in here like this, and you're gonna hold it. I have one more thing to do to my eye that I forgot, so we'll show that to you after. So hold it. I want you to notice what happens. Do you see how they're already poking up? Great. Now other eye. The longer you hold it, be careful. I saw a video once, this girl sneezed and then yanked her eyelashes out. I'm sorry that I told you that, because now you're gonna have to live with that visual, but I've had to live with it, so you do too. So hold it like this. Great. So before you put on the mascara, before I forget, I like to make my eyes look a little wider, as we've talked about before. And this is called Fake Awake from Tarte. You can just use a regular white eyeliner. I find that the white liner looks great. And actually, on your waterline, you're going to bring it. See, do you notice? Because it's supposed to look like your eyeball, like the white of your eyeball. There you go, Fake Awake. One time I wore this and one of my friends asked me if I had like crusties on my eye. So just be careful how you apply it, because that was a very humbling moment for me. Okay, so now I take my mascara. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex. Very controversial opinion on these, because you either love these mascaras or you hate them. I fucking love them. The green one is waterproof. A lot of people hate it. Again, I love it because it is bulletproof. So I apply my brush like this. I take it to the bottom and I blink it on. Now for the bottom, I have something from IT Cosmetics called Tightline. You usually use it here and bring it up to make your eyelashes look thicker, but look how small this is. Like, this is like a little baby, like I could literally brush like a squirrel with this. Okay, so you take this and bring it to your waterline and pull it down. Again. Do not sleep on your bottom lashes. Do not sleep on your bottom lashes. Oh. See, look at that. And this also is gonna bring out the color in the bottom lid. All right. So, last step. Usually I would have baked my face. That is a huge step that I almost never don't do. That's when you take a beauty blender and you put all that white powder on, you let it sit and you rub it off. I left that also in Spain, and it's not totally necessary. A lot of people don't like to do that, but now this is not dry but not wet either. This is Laura Geller's Matte Maker Invisible Oil Blotting Powder. I just like to do that where I get oily. So like this, and on my chin, right here. And my forehead. And up here on the side. Okay. Now, imagine that this is a setting spray. You'd be like everywhere. And now, here's your final look. So I love this. I find it so natural. I think my nose, I actually did a decent job. But it's not so bad, you can play around with it. This is a close-up of the eye. The lips, look. They feel great. Like, it doesn't feel too crazy. Try Dose of Colors, please. I have so many. If you ever want to borrow them, come over and use them, whatever. But here we go. thank you for tuning in. I can do anything you want ever. This was so much fun during quarantine. I know it's a lonely, sad time, but anything that makes you feel good, don't feel guilty about it. This actually really uplifted my day, so thanks for asking. Any questions, comments? Subscribe to nothing because I don't have a channel, but thanks.